Feel the heart. Experience the soul. Community Pulse.
That it deals with intimacy between a male and a female, or a man and a woman, but it also speaks to your individual sexual experiences as well. It's comprehensive in that sense.
Yeah.
It's not comprehensive as in these are the mental, these are the physical, these are the spiritual, and these are the emotional aspects
of it,
attached to intimacy, to love, and to relationships. And so since that dimension is what is missing within the conversation, we do want to ensure that parents are then able, or they are equipped with the necessary information, or as you said, we won't be giving you verbatim, word for word, this is what you need to tell your children, rather according to the guidelines, because everybody's relationship with their child is different.
Absolutely. But also if children can get this information prior to puberty, before they enter into puberty, while their bodies are still going through those particular changes, they will be noticing the changes already in their bodies. So if we can be ready as parents and teach them, before they reach the age, they are ready to enter into womanhood and enter into manhood. With being confident, and don't see it as a fear, or they have not been misinformed, and they don't have a misunderstanding of their bodies and what the bodies are doing. Because now I'm sure everybody is, you say, how can you say? I'm going to use the word today again, about masturbation. It's when people say no, because nearly all textbooks actually produced by medical doctors, by psychiatrists and others from purely physical approach. And they assert that masturbation is not harmful. But we're going to look at the meaning and the reason why we say that. We have to tell people why it is wrong.
Yeah, we're not just making broad statements.
No,
in this conversation, there is backing behind it. Sister Mapuba, I want to ask, if you have these conversations, if you start introducing the concept of reproduction and procreation to kids at an age where they are becoming curious about the environment, so that's usually at around 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, is it easier to have the conversation during puberty when the conversation is driven by hormonal changes and bodily changes and interactions among peers, when they are at school, because everybody's going through the same thing, hormones are running wild, is it easier to drive the conversation when the questions are motivated by a natural curiosity and wanting to learn, as opposed to hormonally driven questions?
Because each child develops differently, Sister Cordera. Right? That's why in my experience, when mothers actually came to me and say, my child he came home in a state of anxiety when Ella was actually presented to him. Because the teacher actually used really harsh words with regards to what's going to happen to his body. The words that the vocabulary that was used by the teacher was not done in a sensitive manner. Right? So it will affect children differently, and that is the danger of this particular curriculum, Sister Cordera. Right? It's like really almost like something that has been like thrown onto us, and you just have to swallow it. But also what's happening now, Sister Cordera, they are very, very busy with the human being. Because now you have like in stopping from procreation to happen. Because now the abortion lobby, oh my word, you can get now online tablets that you can actually take online to abort a baby. Right. They're making it actually easy for children if they are not informed and if they are not connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our children will be rudderless, Sister Cordera. Now just imagine a parent who is perhaps not at home a parent who needs to work, right? And I find in my workshops also, when I do offer these particular workshops for Pathway to Manhood and Womanhood, it is parents that will send their children, but they will also try not to be there.
And again, that speaks to we'd rather pay somebody else our children. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're not saying, look, if you don't have the capacity to teach your children, there's nothing wrong that we're not slandering you as a parent.
No, Sister
we
Kadra,
understand
the
that
mere fact that you are uncomfortable, but on the other side, Sister Kadra, we joke about it.
Yes, that's true.
We make fun of it. We use crude language when it comes to this this information.
Yes.
It's because we are so disconnected. Right? One listener actually previously said that she grew up in a one room
with the 9 siblings.
With 9 siblings. She didn't know how her parents did it. What I mean? But we must remember there were no other influences those years, Mr. Kadra. We see these messages every day.
Yes, we are bombarded
with it. And that is the difference. But also, my granny, my mom used to tell us that she was a single mom, my granny, and there were 4 girls, and they also had to share one room.
Yes.
But my granny ensured that each one was wrapped in their own blanket.
Okay.
So they knew also that there were boundaries. That there's boundaries and there's hijab between girls as well.
Yes.
You understand what I mean? So they had this kind of knowledge. There was this fear also for girls, also that concern that girls must, when they do get married one day, they must be, a virgin. That was important. Is that important for us today, Sister Kadra?
Yeah. And also
for the girl and the boy to preserve themselves until the day of marriage.
Or is it just taken as a by the way?
Yeah. That was a big concern amongst the older people because they were really concerned about the progeny and the lineage. Yeah, it should not be really contaminated because we know what runs through the masculine line and what runs through the feminine line. And the older people used to talk about the asl.
Yes, I was going to say that now. They refer to it as the asl, the family lineage.
Yeah. So if you follow the Sharia, if you follow God's way, one of the objectives of the Sharia is to preserve the progeny.
And if looking at it in that light, that then shines another dimension of this conversation. And the topic gets bigger and bigger, obviously. What is being proposed to be taught in schools is that it is something for pleasure, and that something that ends up in you having children. But obviously it's a lot more than that. There are multiple things that need to, on the periphery, that need to be discussed.
Yes, and again, Sister Kadra, if this is introduced in a wrong manner to our children, Sister Kadra, when you look into the people of the East, how they are, they stay with each other till the age of 90 or 100 even.
Yes.
But they are so loving with one another. You know what I mean? These 2 people have grown into one another. They become one. Yeah. So if the sex and sexuality has been introduced to children in a very wrong way or in an immoral way, like we say in Afrikaans, vroeg ryp en vroeg vrot.
I have never heard that before.
That is really saying it like clearly.
So early ripe, early rotten.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense actually.
Yes. This is what's going to happen. We won't be seeing those people aging and together as people who have been together, loving one another, growing into one another, and till death do us part.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. So to all of you who are tuned in, I've got a couple of messages that have come through. As always, we will address the questions. Any questions that have come through and any comments will be passed on directly to Sister Mahbuba. Any questions that have been asked, we will address either directly in the next episode. Alternatively, if we don't address your question directly, then please know that it is being built into the content and that it is answered within the content itself. Shukran so much for sending your comments through via WhatsApp 078 610 11 12.
Feel the heart. Experience the soul. Community Pulse.